Welcome back to the Burning Numbers Podcast. It's myself, Josh, and Umair Malik here. We're going to be talking about what life is going to be like at 2070, roughly 50 years from now. So, Umair, take it away. What do you think it's going to be like?
Obviously one of the biggest things has to be technology, right? Like the advances in technology. So I think there's a game right now that's come out called Cyberpunk 2077, which is like a very, it's kind of, it has some elements of technology, like the idea of that, like taking over the world, kind of like becoming the new norm, right? And it's also very exaggerated, but I think it does have a good idea about how like a lot of things are going to be automated in the next 50 years.
Yeah.
It was like I was reading a few papers that was talking about how things are going to be automated. Like a lot of jobs are going to be taken over by AI. Like, well, what are you thinking about it?
Well, let's start off with like electric cars. Everything's going to be based on electric. I saw this nice method of creating electricity on I think it was China on their highways. Obviously, traffic's going in opposite directions, right? So let's say it's going like that. They've got two wind cylinders that both rotate based on like vans going past. So when a car goes past, obviously the wind will push the cylinder and that creates the electricity. I think that was pretty cool. But I think there's going to be a lot more of that in civilization where there's just loads of different ways of creating electricity. Like solar panels are going to be everywhere. Wind turbines are going to be everywhere. It's just going to be like a norm now, isn't it?
There's definitely been loads of different ways of finding renewable energy now. Because I think, like, to be fair, like non-renewable energy is quite scarce now. It's like it's getting to a point where it's not as it's running out. So
yeah,
like
literally,
like we've got to get to literally got to get to a point where we have to be renewable energy. Like there's no other alternative.
Yeah,
right?
And I find that interesting, like because obviously economics says like supply and demand creates the price difference. And if you're talking about like non-renewable energies like fossil fuels, for example, the burning of that, when the demand goes down, then the price is just going to go down, right? So if everything's going to be really, really cheap, but then at the same time, the supply is going to go down because the demand is down as well. So
that's
it's
why
going to
the
be
price
steady
of
decline.
it hasn't. That's what I'm saying. That's why the price of it hasn't really changed, right? Because we talk about like the supply and demand. Supply has gone down, but also demand's gone down because of the amount of renewable things that are coming with it. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like we're looking at like Tesla cars and things like that are all electric. They're all very well made.
Yeah.
So it's like I guess the point was like, oh, do you even want to have a non-electric car at the moment? You know what
I think it's like definitely fading towards that. And obviously we have the new government legislation, or more like plans, where all of the governments and world leaders have all agreed that, like, I think it was like by 2050 that they want everything to be renewable energy. So all cars, and and we have here in the UK the legislation where all the new cars that are produced need to become like just electric by a certain point. I don't know what the point that is, but yeah, I think that's going to change. So if all of the cars and vehicles are going to be electric, then we're not going to have like traffic noise really at all.
True. I think some cars, because obviously you have your car freaks, right, that loves their cars, right?
Yeah.
So I think I've heard of some electric cars literally like just like putting sounds in to their cars to make it sound like a flipping beast.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So like the car guys will be like, oh my god, this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. They don't have exhaust either. Like the exhaust.
I don't think they do.
The most noise. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have an exhaust on an electric car.
Yeah, but it's part of the look, innit?
Yeah, they probably do like some really lightweight carbon fiber one.
No, it was like also I think I was talking about this recently, which is like when you have like not just cars, right, other transport, right? You have things like maglev that Japan have currently implemented, right?
Oh, what's that?
Where like you have maglev, which is like using electromagnetic induction to go smoother, right? For trains to go over electromagnetic induction because it's less friction, less resistance, it's
Less
smoother,
energy.
less energy, and it's easy and it's fast. It's way faster.
Yeah.
But the only issue that currently it has, unlike everywhere else, is that no city is really willing to actually like take down their transport for like 10 or so years to actually like implement it, right? Because it's not hard to implement. It's just the idea of the fact that
Where are you gonna put
imagine London without the TFL for 10 years.
it? Yeah.
All hell
Everything
would break
starts
loose.
running on bicycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but be a bit dramatic. I think in 50 years, they have in Singapore, some places in central London, the richer big places, they have a lot of like green on the side of the buildings, and that's becoming like a more of a normal luxury sort of idea. I think that would be like a big thing.
I don't understand. I don't really understand it. It's like, are they trying to like show nature on like buildings? Like, what's the point of it?
Kind of. I mean, it looks nice. I think it looks nice.
It's like my university has it as well. Like
yeah.
one of the buildings, isn't it? Like I'm literally like 2 minutes away from it, where you can just see like an entire pot of green on top of like this wall, and I'm just like, but why though?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can maintain it, but that's gonna be like an extra job for somebody creating jobs. A gardener.
I've heard this thing, which is like I think it was like 50% of jobs that will be taken over by AI in the next 60 years.
Right.
Because a lot of things can be automated. Like if you think about things like factory workers and things like that, right? A lot of that stuff is becoming a lot more automated.
Yeah.
And the need for human labor in it is becoming quite rare, which is quite a mad one.
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at the change over, you look over the past 200 years, going from more just based farming, and then all the way up to now, you would say that lots of things have been automated. There's no need for loads of things, right? You just have like a train driver rather than people shoveling coals into that. So their jobs are gone, but then other jobs get created, right? So I think I don't think like the population's increased dramatically, but we still have enough jobs to supply everybody. Like I'm pretty sure there's at least.
But wouldn't you argue that the advancements in tech, like it's been quite accelerated now, like the amount of jobs being lost due to things like technology?
Yeah, but
like,
at the same time,
quite accelerated recently.
Like look at the amount of people, like Amazon employees, for example. Yeah, they've got a lot of automated stuff like making items. You got Amazon Basics brand, and you got just generally all the distribution centers and all that stuff. There's got a lot of automation and conveyor belts and shit like that. But at the end of the day, they still have people delivering stuff. Okay, but if that gets taken over, then you got people making. Here's how I see it, right? Like the purpose is for people, and so you can't just have a world completely run by robots serving people, and people like to serve people. And I think if it becomes everything automated and there's no need for people, and therefore like businesses kind of get taken away, and also it just becomes like a communist society, because if nobody's got jobs, then how are you going to live? What means do you go buy your food?
No, I guess no. For me, for the idea that I have, it's not that no one has jobs, right? It's that fewer people have jobs, so those jobs become way more, more of a like rarity, right?
Yeah.
So then that will in turn like just like increase like the rich stay rich and the poor get poorer kind of thing happening, right?
Yeah.
Unless like unless people decide to evolve, like a lot of things are going towards technology right now. So unless you're like really active in the technology society, or like you're really into that kind of thing, it's gonna be these automations would be a bit more difficult. A lot of the more jobs are going to be geared towards maintaining the technology as well as running the technology. That's where all the jobs I feel like are going to go to soon. It's like it's already happening in supermarkets where you have like self-service checkouts, right?
Yeah.
And some of them are getting quite advanced. Like I went to Decathlon recently, and like you don't even scan it; you just plop it in the basket, and it reads it somehow.
Yeah.
And I went to like Uniqlo, and then you just brush the piece of clothing over the metal sheet, and then how it detects it.
Yeah, that's really good. So, but at the same time, there's probably more engineers based on that. And there's loads of jobs in the creation, the development, and then the processing, and Like think about
No, but
technology
that's
as
what
a
I'm saying though.
basis. You need so many developers, even like software, people to design just the scanning mechanism, things like that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. People who aren't very tech savvy are going to struggle if things become a lot more automated.
Yeah, I mean, people got to evolve, like, because times are changing so quickly. People got to learn very quickly as well, innit?
That is
So
true.
a completely different society in a sense of how you work. Everybody's probably going to be on like computers now. So people going outside less. Maybe there isn't even going to be a need for cars anymore.
Well, what are you thinking?
Like in a sense of we don't need to go out to work. We're just gonna do everything at home based on our computers. I don't know. Maybe in the future that we're all going to be wearing masks
think
constantly as well.
I don't think it's gonna get to the point where everyone's working from home all the time.
You
Like
don't think?
especially like whenever I do anything in tech, right? One of the best things is working around a group of other people, and that's something that can't be achieved over like video call. It just can't be the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's like I think one of the funniest things I saw recently was just like a video, which is like a coder who, to help him understand his problem, he just explains it to someone else.
Yeah.
And that kind of small interactions can't be
Helped
replaced.
him.
Yeah. So I think that kind of point of view is going to work from home is probably something, in my opinion, that's not going to happen like consistently. We'll still have offices. We'll still have like buildings like that to work in. I don't think it will get to the point of just like zooming everything.
Interesting. I mean, like we didn't have offices 500 years ago. Like kind of. You had offices for like the Navy and I guess some like production farms, but not dramatic in the sense of what we have now. So I think times change, and like the coronavirus itself shows.
No, but you would say that office. You say there weren't offices, but I would consider like a blacksmith is a workplace to be an office for him and his colleagues.
Okay, yeah.
I would consider a farm to be an office.
Sure.
For farmers.
Okay, I see the guy. You're just talking more like a place of work, and you refer to
an office as
like
just a place of work.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Let's talk about farming, because farming is going to change dramatically. There's not enough land to produce all of the farming, all of the food that we need for the population that we currently have, and population is only going to increase. So have you heard of like I don't know what they're called. I think they're called like hydro farms, but farming that's more like vertical. So they use like specific light inside. Like if you think about a shipping container, right?
Yeah.
They have like shelves all around inside one of those, and then on the shelves is like plants, and they put it in like this, like a plant pot, but there's no like soil or anything. And then they use like 97% less water as well. So it saves a lot of energy in that sense. And you can stack them up because they have heat lamps for each individual plant. And obviously they can, like the scientists can make sure they have the right wavelength of light to make it grow as quick as possible. So instead of needing the sun and like seasons, we can now produce food all year round, plant food all year round. And it's like half the amount of time it takes for them to grow as well, because obviously the light is constant as well. Have you seen that?
In my head, all I'm thinking is having like the shard, right? And it's just a complete farmhouse.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, yeah. But they have some of the restaurants in central London, the expensive restaurants in central London, they have their kitchens and obviously all the chefs, and they have underneath growing all of their like parsley and things like that. So
really?
Yeah. So they just want to like go downstairs and they get fresh stuff, fresh spices.
I think one of the coolest things I saw recently, right? It's like a lot of buildings, like especially in central London, right, have their own like gardens, but they're not like your usual gardens. There'll be like gardens on like the 10th floor.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how?
Yeah, it's good, but because obviously, if you have multi levels for your farm, you're gonna save a lot of space, and the amount of energy that you save in general and there's no soil, so you don't have like any chemicals being introduced to your food and stuff like that. So you got cleaner food and everything. And I think that's going to change the farming industry dramatically. You're going to have like big warehouses in cities. So your transportation of food is going to be a lot less. So your quality of food is going to be a lot better as well. There's probably going to be a lot less waste because obviously you get a lot of waste just during the transportation period from a farm in the Midlands to London, you know? I think that's going to be a lot
Where do
better.
you get? So you're thinking like the farms in like around the UK are going to become a bit more obsolete just because it's actually quite interesting how like you think technology can influence something that has no tech in it already.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm just thinking about it, it's like damn.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really interesting. Like have a look up at some point. It's changing so mad and the benefits of it is dramatic. But if you think about like a world in the future, almost like a futuristic city where you maybe even like each individual house is going to grow all their own food. And maybe that'll be the case where there's no jobs and you don't need a job because you already grow your own food.
Yeah,
but it does help.
Like, why do you have a job? You have a job to eat. You have a job to like enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
With money. So if you don't need it, you don't need it.
We're going to be 3D printing all our houses.
And I'm just thinking, like, imagine like we were talking about the Midlands, right? The farms in the Midlands, right? And then when you're just driving on the motorway, all you just see is like these huge skyrise farms all around you.
Yeah. No, but we see there was this I think I saw a mobile farm. So they put one of these like farms inside a truck and they're going around, I think it was like New York City in America, going around New York City and selling fresh produce in the back of the truck.
Wait, so did they set up the environment in the back of the truck?
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. It's literally like a warehouse shelves with so you got a shelf, you got the plants growing in there. I think it's silicon like sponges. So they grow in there and then it takes like 14 days from seed to ready to eat. And then you can just take it out and then you replant it in exactly the same spot. No need to like turn all the soil, no need to do anything.
Fair enough.
Just do it. And the water is less, like dramatically less, like 95%, probably more, less water you need. So it's good for everything. And you can do that anywhere. Like you could probably have like spare bedroom and do that, you know?
Have you seen those films that are like that show like the world in like 50 years when they have like all these random like hoverboards and things like that, right? Like flying cars and stuff. What do you think about that? Do you think the world will ever get to that point?
I think you'll probably be a little bit more educated on that sense than me, but I don't think flying. So right now we have like a theory test and a driving test just to drive a car, right? You need that training. And then you've got all of these regulations on the road, you've got traffic lights, you've got all sorts of stuff. And it's quite difficult to kind of go rogue on the road in a sense. Like you can't just go on a 30-mile-an-hour road or go central London and drive really fast because you're just going to hit something, right? But if you was to now make everything flying and where it's like 3-dimensional, it's so easy to like overtake and then go super high speeds. I mean, even if like you put restrictions on the cars, like manufacturer restrictions, you're going to get some smart ass like hack it and make it go stupid speeds.
In my head, what I was thinking recently, right, is I don't think it will get to that point just because that's a crazy, like in my head, it doesn't make sense to do. Yeah. But what I was thinking is I think a lot of the cars are going to be automated now, right? Like it's already happening. Like you see Tesla really driving towards it. No pun intended.
I missed it.
And then you see it. So like a lot of automated drivers. When we get to a point where we don't even need a driving test anymore, we just need to buy the car and let it drive for us.
Yeah, but at the same time, people enjoy driving. People like enjoy riding a motorcycle. There's more to it than just driving. Like I agree, you can just do that, but like if you have that those experiences that you can pay for, where you go and sit in a Lamborghini and you got the race car driver and they drive you around a race track. So you can pay for an experience like that for like 80 quid or whatever. And that's wonderful. You can experience the thrill and the G-force going around the corner in a Lamborghini and it sounds great and everything. That's wonderful. But it's a lot better if you could drive the car, right?
True.
So
like,
yeah, I think it's gonna be you can do automation, sit in traffic, you can watch Netflix, but also it'd be nice to just drive the car down a country road if there are country roads.
I no, but I think like you can be given the option to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with automation, you can have the option to be automated. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think legally, like if it gets to the point where automation's like 50% of the people doing automation, and then they're gonna look into statistics of okay, so if you do automation, 1 year like 2069, 2 people died in car
Yeah,
crashes where both of them using automation, and then like
yeah,
1,000 people died from people using manual driving. They're gonna be like, okay, let's just ban manual driving. Like logically, it would probably just get to the point where legally you're not allowed to manually drive your own car.
yes. But like there's things like that all the time, right? Let's think about like how many people die every year due to alcoholism? How many people drive every year due to like cigarettes? You won't see these things getting banned because of like the death count, right? Because if you try to ban it, there will be a revolt from the
Well, not
community.
really.
There will
You
be
wasn't allowed to.
protests.
Before you was allowed to smoke inside a building. Now you're not allowed to
Yeah,
smoke inside a building unless they put like
Um,
restrictions. Okay, you're not allowed to drive your own car inside central London.
yeah, like things like that. Like you're allowed to drive your car in these certain areas.
Yeah, that's going to be a
You're
bit
allowed to.
dramatic.
It's like they're already doing this thing where you're not allowed to drive a diesel car in central. Well, you're not. It's not that you're not allowed. It's that you have to pay like a crap ton
Yeah,
of money
fines. Yeah. If you drive your own car,
to
you have to
drive.
pay an extra. An insurance premium is going to be dramatic. Imagine an insurance premium where
Yeah, your insurance is gonna be off the roof. Like if you have an automated car, your insurance is gonna be like dirt cheap.
maybe maybe
It's
insurance
like
won't
me
even
and
be a
you,
thing.
right? No, so me and you, we're quite different. Like I don't actually drive right now, but for me, the idea of driving is to get from A to B, right?
Yeah.
But like you enjoy motorcycling, right? Like you enjoy
Yeah, man.
the
Just
thrill
go
of
for a ride.
going
Yeah.
out, going for a ride. So like for you and me, like you would be the person who like be manually driving and things like that, but I'd be a person who just automates it because I just want to get from A to B.
Yeah. Like going back to the insurance idea, maybe we'll get to the point where like insurance is just so low or it doesn't even become a thing. Or if it's based on like automated driving, then surely that comes down to the fault of the company who's produced the car and the technology.
Yeah.
So then it'll be the case of instead of calling up your insurance company, you'll be calling up Tesla, be like, fucking, I've had a crash. You need to pay out to this other Tesla. Said you basically just get a new Tesla.
You have a 3-year warranty.
Yeah. Or no matter what happens, you just get a new Tesla.
No, but like when like I don't think it would be like each company has their own automation technology. I think there'll be a standardized one for all cars to have.
Yeah, like
Because
Word
like
in every computer, Windows, but just
yeah, it'll
in
be like a
Tesla.
Windows in every computer. Because like if you have like different like automation tech, like they could clash, and then that's where you can get things like crashes and things like that. But if you have a standard one for every single one, it's a lot better.
I guess
then,
so, yeah. But then who agrees to produce that? That'd be like a government basis, or it needs to be like I don't know if it could be all the same one, or it needs to have like a certain standard. The same way like there's regulations to Tesla or BMW doing automated cars now, they have certain
oh yeah, they could,
regulations
yeah.
of that. But you know, in terms of the automation cars, I think they're really interesting. You know, I think it's called the train track hypothesis, with the idea that okay, so how do you decide I'm going to go kill one person as an option instead of killing like 4 people, right? Have you seen this one?
Oh, is it when you have the train track and you decide whether to move it to kill one person or you let it go and kill 4 people?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
based on your own choice, yeah. I think that's like a really interesting how they decide that. I think logically, obviously, you have to choose to kill the one person, right?
No, because it's like I think the one I saw, right, is that you pull the lever to kill one person or you don't do anything and it kills 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's the action of killing, the pulling the lever
that makes you do it. Yeah,
that is that's the thing, which is like, oh, can I even do that? Can I pull this lever to be able to kill that one person?
Yeah, and then you assume that you've actually killed that person because you made the choice.
Yeah,
rather than thinking
exactly.
I just saved those other 3-4 people.
Yeah,
it's gonna be difficult.
have you seen? You know one of the funniest things I saw recently though, which is you know the Simpsons movie.
Simpsons, go on.
Have you seen the Simpsons movie?
No. Maybe do
Basically,
it
it's
customers.
the Simpsons movie is like a city under quarantine,
Okay, yeah.
and it was showing how like the city was under quarantine. There was a celebrity as president, and everyone was going crazy. And I
Oh,
was like, whoa,
yeah.
isn't
Donald
that
Trump.
ironic?
All right. Yeah. Going back to the flying car situation, or that would just be planes, slow moving planes. I don't also like. I don't think it's gonna happen because it needs to be like air propelled, or at least from
Yeah.
my understanding. In which case, it's just gonna be bloody windy all the time, everywhere.
No, but I think I told you about maglev, right? Which is like the using electromagnetic induction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think it will be possible to do something like that with the idea of maglev, but you wouldn't have like flying roads. You'd have like set up tracks and roads.
That would just be like independent trains.
Yeah, well, kind of, but you have independent individual trains.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. But yeah, I think it's more
Yeah.
likely. I think I saw Elon Musk talking about it, and then he kind of shipped off the idea because he couldn't do it himself. But all underground, probably in a vacuum chamber, sort of travel like
Mhm.
that. I think that's more likely in terms of the travel. But then again, that's very difficult to do, very costly. Maybe I don't know.
No, vacuum chamber thing. It's not the fact that it's not the fact that it's hard to do or cost is a thing. It's not the idea that it's hard to do. It's just that in like doing it, like trying to make what happen in a city that's currently running is difficult.
Yeah.
Like if we tried to implement like a vacuum kind of train system anywhere, like the public will go crazy, which is like, why can't I take this train right now? I can't go to work. I can't do this. I can't go outside. And it will take a decent amount of time to implement that thing.
Of course, but I saw Elon Musk talking about it, and he was talking about having it like multi-stories below the ground. And once you get multi-stories below the ground, it becomes very like you can do drilling or set off it like you can do whatever you want underneath the ground, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be able to feel it. Like just
True.
drilling a hole, you're not going to be able to feel it at ground level anyway. So I don't think there's like disruptions in that. I think it's just like having a company that says, okay, yeah, we want to put all of our money and time into this. We're not going to get a payoff in however many years if we actually succeed in doing it, and then actually having the government sign off and say, yeah, I'm going to let you drill through the city of London, 50 meters below
Okay, so
ground.
imagine you have the city of London, right? And you really have the underground, so you're gonna have the underground.
Yeah, underground squared.
Underground squared.
Yeah.
It's like I can imagine like you're on the central line and underneath you is like this maglev train just going.
Yeah. So do you think we're going to be multiplanetary in the next however long, 50 years? Do you think we're going to like have to go to
No,
Mars? Not
no.
even been to Mars at all.
I think we might get there,
How long does it even take to
but
get to
like
Mars?
how many light years away is it?
No,
Is it
I'm
even a
pretty.
light year away?
I think it was like 400 days or something, going at the standard speeds of rockets we have today.
It's at
No, or am I just making out random numbers?
no, it's 231 million kilometers away,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
I can do the maths. I'm joking, I can't.
it's 1.5 AU. No, like it would be possible to get there. It's just that do we like?
Oh, it's
I
about
think there's
7 months,
definitely the
man. I
means.
did the maths. About 7 months to do
What,
it.
7 months? 7 months is a possible thing to happen.
Yeah, man. I don't mind doing
Like
that.
you see many.
You can do anything for 7 months, innit?
No, but it's like you have to prepare the rocket ship to last 7 months, right? And then to last on Mars's environment. I mean, their atmosphere.
It's a bit dramatic, but if you said 40 years ago, 50 years ago that okay, we could actually send a rocket into space and then come back and land it here again.
Yeah.
I think
I think it's possible to happen in the next 50 years. I just think it's gonna be difficult. I definitely think it's possible though.
I might jump on that bandwagon. I really
Like you can jump on
like
the back.
yeah.
You want to just fly off.
Fly up to space. The most extraordinary adventure ever. Yeah, I kind of salute Elon Musk for everything that he does. I really admire him. A lot of he gets a lot of hate from a lot of people, a lot of love from a lot of other people. But yeah, man, he's doing something else that other people are just too scared to do, or he pushes boundaries.
Like like one thing about Elon Musk is like he always does try to drive forward, which is something I respect.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's always driving forward. He's always doing what he can to like do the next coolest thing, do the next like technological thing, which is something that I don't see a problem with. Like I think a lot of people have like issues with like, oh, you could use this money to do this, you could use this money to do that.
Yeah.
But like Elon Musk is really just driving, like he's really driving technological advancements these days, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of other companies should like follow in his footsteps. Like if you think about it, most companies put their money into something that they think they're going to get a payoff pretty soon in the next couple of years. And like if you think about how long has Tesla been around, if you could, let me do a quick Google search.
No, but Tesla wasn't his first company, was it?
And I don't think so.
Like, what was his? Like, I didn't check.
So 2003. 2003,
Yeah.
he made Tesla, right? That's
Yeah.
a long time ago. That's nearly 20 years. And like his ambition is, I don't know what he set out to do in the first place, but it's all about electricity and creating the next big battery. He did solar panels at some point. I'm pretty sure he still does that sort of thing. But he's like thinking about obviously changing the world, a long-term change in that sense. And at the end of the day, look how much is paid off.
Like he really, like, I'm just reading this up now. He started his first company in 1995.
Yeah, man.
We're in 2020 now, 2021, and
Are you sure?
It's like coming off. Huh? I'm kind of sure. I think so. Maybe 2022.
Yeah.
But like you think about how he's just gone from like how long ago? That 25, 26 years ago.
Yeah.
He started off a small company. It's called Zip2. Like, have you ever heard of Zip2? I haven't. And then that's really just like he's really built the blocks for him to carry on and go forward. And he's always gone forward. He's never gone backwards. He's never tried to do anything worse.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
He's been in a lot of shit. I've done some reading about him. He's been in a lot of shit in like financial situations where companies going to go bust, or just people not invested in him. Like before he started making the rockets that was able to land, he had a lot of rockets that just exploded, went into the sea. All that money's disappeared. A lot of people just give him hate for it, and he just goes through it. Yeah, good entrepreneur.
Yeah. So he gets the hate for it, but then at the end, it's like the trial and error worked out in the end.
Yeah.
He managed to shoot a spaceship into the air and have it land.
And now he's one of the richest men in the world. I think that's a good thing. Richest man in the world, like Elon Musk, looking at not Bill Gates, the other guy,
Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. Just these like philanthropists that want to do good for the world. Elon Musk, I would say, is like a philanthropist in a sense. Like,
so apparently SpaceX's goal was to reduce human spaceflight by a factor of 10.
Success.
So he wanted to just and he's doing it. Isn't he making isn't he doing things out of like you have old rocket pods, right? And he's making an entire new rocket out of these old rocket pods.
Probably. But if you think about like just the reusable rocket in a sense has made everything a shit ton cheaper.
Yeah. Like you don't have to build this entire new flipping contraption to get up there.
Yeah.
You just fly one, bring it down, you fly it again, refuel it.
I think at some point in the next 50 years, we'll probably go to Mars. So we're going to have to go to another planet, which is awesome. We're going to have completely different places where our food comes from. Potentially everybody's growing their own food at home. Jobs, if there is any.
There will be jobs.
There'll be
just
some
like
jobs,
what jobs?
There will just be everybody's got to be like Elon Musk.
Everyone's got to be a bloody flipping coder to be a job now.
Yeah. We won't have flying cars, I don't think. I think it's important to start like predicting the future. Like if you think about like long-term investing, or just if you think about like your child, what's your child gonna do? How should you teach your child in like the direction you can't just like teach a child to be a manual laborer anymore.
No, but I think you teach a child to do what, like you teach a child in the present, like whatever's happening in the present, you as a parent would have to adapt and to the present and teach your child that.
Do you think the schools are preparing kids for the future?
They're gearing towards it, but not that much, right? Like you got to think, where is the future heading to? And we've kind of agreed that the future's heading towards technology, right?
Yeah, of course.
And how many things do you think, like how many lessons do you think kids have in the area of technology, right? Or they have IT, and that's it.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I was just thinking while you're speaking, like the I don't know how it worked, but Stephen Hawking obviously had motor neuron disease, right? And he had like these sensors on his brain that allowed him to communicate. I don't know if I'm just making it up or like I've read something
I actually
stupid.
don't know Hawking's story that well with how he speaks.
Well, maybe he's like got some control panel and he could move a thumb or something. I don't know. Anywho, there's probably going to be like some other method of communication. So maybe like language is not even going to be that big of a deal. Like if you can think, like imagine if you think words that you don't even need to say, and then your brain can translate that into any language you want.
I like and don't like that at the same time. Because imagine, like, listen, we have thoughts for a reason.
Yeah, man. It's
like we have thoughts. Like we don't say everything that we think,
But what would the world look like if we did?
Huh?
What would the world
look like? The world would be way more divided. The world would be so much more divided.
But okay, but what about if it gets to the point where we just don't think any dividing thoughts?
No, but you will think dividing thoughts.
No, but like in the same way, okay, go back a long time ago. People are racist, right? Just everywhere. Everybody's racist. White people don't like black people. Most black people don't like white people, Asian, whatever. And so, because that was like a social norm to be racist, then everybody thought racist thoughts. Now, in some places around the world, there's like very little racism, so you just don't even think racism. Like I'm talking to you now and you're an Asian man and I'm a white man. I don't think this Asian person, I don't think that. I just think you're a human being, and like we talk to each other.
But it's like but it's like, are you trying to, like, it was a societal norm there, but the world then was so much more divided than it is now.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So with the fact that it's more normal,
saying, you say your thoughts.
Yeah, but I don't have those thoughts. That's what I'm saying. So if I had like a thing that's telling you everything I think of, you're not going to hear any racist things because I'm not racist.
But if I think about it this way, right? The first time I met you, I was like, this guy's a waste man. In my head.
You're racist. I got your car, man. I'm taking you to court.
I literally said, I was like, this guy's a waste man. I'm not going to talk to this guy.
Wow. Wait, why did you actually talk to me in the first place? We sat next to each other, no?
It's because we did the same subjects.
Ah, yeah, you was a bit of a waste man as well.
So I was like, this guy's a bit of a waste man. I don't want to talk to him. But then look at us now.
Yeah, man. You just can't talk to me.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like if you have these thoughts and something's just reading these thoughts and like, what the hell?
You're slow.
And just like and just speaking these thoughts, it's just like, why? It's gonna create division always.
Okay, yeah, but okay. I still stand by what I said. You're going to get to the point where you're just not going to be prejudiced. You're going to go and meet somebody and you're not going to think, oh, what is this guy like? Or like, imagine if all your experiences is just, okay, you meet somebody and you're made to learn who they are before you actually make a judgment. And that's just how you was brought up.
But that takes time to do. And we meet so many new people like every day. Well, not at the moment, but like.
Yeah, but you can practice
when
that.
When we're out to about, you think we can learn about someone in like the first 5 seconds?
No, you can't learn about them, but the way you judge them or not, like the same way you can teach yourself not to get angry in certain situations that you get angry at. So let's say, for example, you drive a car and you get pissed off at people cutting you up in the road, yeah? You can teach yourself not get angry at those people. And so you stay calm. So your innate reaction, what you normally have, probably due to how you was brought up or whatever, means that, okay, you swear at somebody who's cutting you up on the road, and then you teach yourself not to do that. And now someone cuts you up on the road, you don't swear, you don't get angry, you don't have that emotion, you don't have those thoughts. You don't have anything. Okay, now you go and meet somebody. You don't think, this guy looks like a waste man. It's just, I wonder what this guy thinks in his head. I wonder what this guy does. You know?
I see where you're coming from, but I just like it doesn't make sense, because like the way you perceive people is always going to be how, like, the first impression you always get, no matter what happens, is always going to be from the way someone looks. It's the way someone's presented, and that's the first impression you'll get every single time.
If you're curious,
if you're curious, you get to know them anyway.
Yeah, of course. But if everybody just has like the curious mentality, so like if you meet somebody with a suit, obviously you have your initial judgments of maybe they're rich or they're intelligent or all sorts of things. But if you meet like a hobo, but you can change those ideas. Like I'm pretty sure there's loads of people who had a situation where they meet somebody who looks like Gary Vaynerchuk. Probably pronounced his name wrong. Basically, is this entrepreneur. He's a smart guy. He started off in wine business. He's now got multiple companies, and he's up there, right? And he doesn't wear suits for the purpose that he's just a normal guy. He doesn't care what he wears. It doesn't change what he does for a living. It doesn't change how smart he is. It doesn't change his personality, anything like that. So when you see like that, it makes you think, like, when you walk down the street, it makes you think, okay, what are these other people? These could be like a mad, extraordinary people as well.
Yeah, look, there's always the idea that anyone can be like this crazy, extraordinary person, right?
Yeah.
But that that's gonna take time for someone to learn that about someone else. Like I'm telling you, like, I'm saying, like, when you're out and about in the non-pandemic times, you meet so many new people a day, right? Like, imagine you work at a retail shop, right? You work at Pizza Express. Let's talk about Pizza Express, right? Like, you see how many customers a day?
Now I see bloody none, mate. They're all at home.
Now you see none, but then how many did you see? That you saw like hundreds of customers a day, right?
Yeah.
You physically don't have the time, or you don't have, like, to be fair, like, I don't think you'd have the effort to get to know those 100 people. You kind of judge people about how they look, their mannerisms.
Okay, yeah, but if you had a machine on my head that read out my thoughts, it would say something along the lines of, "Oh, this guy who looks like he's poor. I wonder what his background is. I wonder how smart he is. I wonder why he's in the situation. If he's in the situation I think he is, right?"
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I'll just go up to a customer and I would say, "How's your day? What you up to? What you doing?" Some of them say, "Oh yeah, I had this one guy saying he's a journalist, and it was like 9 p.m. at night. He says I'm about to go to work." I was like, "Wait, what?" And he's going to an airport to do some journalism on some celebrity or whatever. I don't know, but like I honestly do not have like these negative thoughts in the sense of, oh, I don't want to get to know this person, or just negative in that sense. Like, I've met so many people that initially I had a negative thought, and actually they're blowing my world away, bro. They're good people.
I've had loads of things where I've had positive thoughts about someone, and it turns out they were quite negative, and I've had negative thoughts about someone, and it turns out they were quite positive. But I don't think it makes sense to be bothered to try to know everyone, right? Like, understand everyone's thoughts.
Yeah, but you don't need to find out somebody to have an initial positive reaction or just a neutral reaction. But then again, like you say, I do think like a prejudgment of character is beneficial for like safety purposes as well. Like I say, keep away from the bad
like, you
people.
see someone who looks kind of dodgy on the side of a back alleyway, right? You're not going to be like, oh, let me go find out if he's a flipping millionaire or not. And
we're definitely not going to be telling our little daughters to go take sweets from old creepy man.
Go see how that man is and see if he's okay.
Yeah. You think cameras is going to be a big thing in 50 years? Everything's going to be recorded, do you think? Huh?
Yes, they will, probably. Well, it already is being recorded. It's cameras everywhere. Like,
I mean, we just choose to be recorded like this. Just recording conversations.
I see right now. I see 3 cameras that aren't this Zoom camera looking at me right now.
Yeah, mad.
Like,
and
it is what it is.
I think the world is going to change in the sense of our interactions with technology. It's no longer going to be you pick up your phone and you want to book a table at Pizza Express. It's going to be, okay, Google, Siri, please book me a table at Pizza Express for 5 p.m. And I think it's just going to do that.
That's true. That's already happening. Like, I think sometimes when I have like a question, like just a sudden thought in my head, I'm like, hey Google, what's this? Hey
Yeah,
Google,
man.
what's that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo Google, play me some good music, and it'll play me music that I like.
I have
Like,
I'm not going to say the name because it can get a bit disruptive, but the Amazon version of the speaking woman. I go into my living room and I walk into the living room and the clock's up behind me and I still ask her what's the bloody time.
No way.
Yeah, legit.
True, that's fair enough. For me, it's just like random questions. Like I'll just be like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, hey Google, what's this?
How much
and
food
Google
does an elephant do? Like... Random shit.
Do you think it might get to the point where it like knows what's in your fridge? It's like, oh, yo Google, hey Google, what's in the fridge? And it tells you what's in the fridge.
You know what? Actually, it might be. I mean, if you got like apps, loads of people have apps for like nutrition. You enter like how much exercise you do, what food you eat, things like that. And a lot of people now do shopping on like Amazon Prime or like Tesco's or whatever. So at some point, it's probably going to get all interconnected, or you can connect apps to each other, innit? So if you go and ask, like, you tell Siri what exercise you've done and what food you've bought, and therefore it knows what food you got in the freezer or fridge, and then you just then tell it, oh, I ate some spinach, some avocado and egg today, and then it's gonna be like, okay, you've got 3 avocados left.
No, I'm thinking like you just put it in and your fridge detects what it is.
Inside. Oh, like you said about that shop that you went to.
That like the decathlon shop, like you put it in and your fridge knows what it is, and then you can be like, yo, hey Google, hey Alexa. I don't know if I'm saying,
you're not
like,
speaking. I've got these big things. It's
nice. It's like, oh, hey Alexa, what's in the fridge? And it just goes, you have a yogurt, milk, eggs. You need cheese. Go buy cheese.
So 2070 is just gonna be about how to trick your own fridge about what food you have inside. So you're gonna make some spaghetti bolognese and leave it for the next day, and you'll be like, Siri, what is this item?
And Siri's gonna be like, this is something expired ass spaghetti bolognese. Throw that shit out.
It's moldy. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. What's gonna be good?
Yeah.
Well, that's 2070. That's what it's gonna be like. Now you know what companies to invest in. It's gonna be things like Tesla and
fridges.
Yeah, and flying underground cars.
Samsung fridges.
Samsung fridges. Do you think Samsung's still gonna be a big thing?
Probably.
You know, I'm surprised at some of these like companies like Coca-Cola, how long they've been around. Wow. Yeah, that's some research we'll do off camera. And see you in the next one, BurningNumbers Podcast. Thanks for listening.